Christian Meza, relating back to the Jared Cook stuff, would Jared Cook be better in New Orleans or with New England?
Ooh, man, I think it's a great question. I'm going to lean with New Orleans just because I think that offense is still better than the Patriots offense. And I mean, we've seen Drew Brees been really successful with tight ends. And I'm not just talking about Jimmy Graham. I'm also talking about like his seasons that he's had with Ben Watson, when Ben Watson was pretty washed up, and yet he was still pretty solid. I think Jared Cook at age 32 showed what he could do with the Raiders. Me personally, I think it'd be pretty interesting to see him. You know, I'm a fantasy guy. I would want to see him go to the Saints.
There is no wrong answer, I think.
That's true.
I think both those guys, or both Cook would fit well with both of those teams. Either way, he'll have success there, despite being maybe a little bit up there in age. Again, folks, use hashtag NFL in the comments section. We're taking some draft and free agency questions right now. Omega ice cream, by the way, what flavor is Omega? Which team will shock the world, Mitch?
I think it's fish oil.
Gross.
Which team will shock the world? Raider Nation. Get at me.
Very on-brand answer there. Well, the Browns no longer count.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they
true.
no longer count on that side of things. If you want a surprise, look, we've seen time and time again, an AFC East team does pretty well.
Uh-oh.
Maybe it's the Jets' turn.
No.
It was the Bills previous year, and then it was the Dolphins. Now it's the Jets' turn to win like
whatever
9 games.
Whatever team drafts Kyler Murray. So the Cardinals.
Oh, stop it, you. Let me know.
Let us know.
What do you guys think there?
Berkeley says Cowboys. I don't really see how you can be a surprise team when you win your division
Cowboys,
and make the playoffs.
yeah, Cowboys aren't a surprise. I mean, I think that makes sense. Ravens, I kind of feel like if they went the playoffs, it doesn't really count. Victor says Niners. That's doable, I think. Maybe a little bit obvious, but I think that counts as a non-playoff team. They're drafting number 2 overall, so I'm going to count 49ers in there too.
Sounds good.
All
Edward,
right,
what we got?
What do you see the Jets getting in a trade for Daron Lee? Mid to late round pick. 1 year left on his deal. Hasn't been, in terms of expectations, meeting them. There's been some decent splash plays and some stats, but there's a reason the Jets went out and paid big money to Avery Williamson and C.J. Mosley.
And try to get Anthony Barr.
Yes. So I think it's going to be a mid to late round pick there.
That's fair. Edward, I do have one request.
Oh, there you go.
Please get a picture. That's all I ask, because you can see us. We can't see you. So, Edward, I will not put another comment of yours until you get a picture. Deal? Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We're also taking questions from Facebook. Josh Mattingly, Don Mattingly's younger brother. Did Quinn get signed?
No, he's technically still under contract. So it's going to be a trade or he gets cut and then someone picks him up. I do think a trade happens. I think, again, it's going to be a mid to late round pick, possibly even from 2020 from Josh Mattingly about Robert Quinn. The Saints or the Cowboys make the most sense to me, Mitch.
So you're saying the Cowboys over the Dolphins?
Or the Saints.
Or yeah,
the Saints,
yeah.
I think the Cowboys will get it done. The Saints, though, obviously still have some interest there in well.
Cool. Baker, what we got? It's cute pup.
Is Hunt in this without video? I'm not. Kareem Hunt? Oh, he means Kareem Hunt about the best running backs. Now I get what you're saying. I don't think he's on the same level of Barkley and Zeke, but I think he'd probably have more mentions about it. I don't think he'd be up there, though.
I mean, I would have put him in like
tier.
6 to 7 running back range. I think that's one of the things that we're blessed with right now is really talented running backs, especially up there at the top. Also, I want to see what Kareem Hunt can do outside of the Chiefs' offense. A very running back friendly offense. We've seen Andy Reid really feed running backs his entire career. Now I want to see what he can do at another team. Now he's in a good situation again. But, I mean, we saw Damian Williams really put it on, and who the heck is Damian Williams? And Spencer Ware, when he even was playing, really solid production out of the running back position. Who would have thunk? Good offense, quarterback throws 50 touchdowns.
Running back has success.
You're going to have success. Ruben, my dude, what's up, man? Hashtag NFL. Should the Raiders trade for the 3rd pick in the draft without trading any of the first-round picks, knowing that the Jets will to trade it?
Hey,
I don't know if it's
Ron Burgundy. You don't have to read exactly what it says. You can paraphrase.
I'm just saying, Ruben, you know I love you, my man. 4 trades in 1 paragraph. That's impressive. No punctuation whatsoever.
I think it depends if you're the Raiders who you want at 3 that wouldn't get to you that the Jets also wouldn't want.
Either Bosa or Allen.
But if you're the Jets, you would want to take one of those 2 guys.
I agree.
So from that perspective, I think you have a tough time doing it. I think if you're the Raiders, maybe you try to move up. If you desperately want Nick Bosa or Josh Allen, you might have to move up a little bit.
Fair enough.
Which is tough because there's some overlap there with the Niners and Jets in terms of what they're targeting, namely Bosa Allen. So that's why you should have tanked more at the end of the season.
Fair enough. This next one is from my Yelp burner account. And if you can only pay one, would you pay Dak or Zeke? Tom, take it away.
Am I allowed to say it? Because Cowboys Nation doesn't like it. Because the correct answer is Dak Prescott. Because finding an average quarterback relative to the rest of the NFL and versus finding an well above average back versus an average back to the rest of the NFL, it's a lot harder to find the quarterback.
Okay.
You can get by for a year with a bunch of nobodies like Joseph Randle, like the Cowboys did.
Doesn't he play basketball for the Lakers?
That was Julius Randle. Versus, we all remember what happened in the post-Aikman, pre-Tony Romo era, right? Give me the average quarterback.
Okay.
Or above average quarterback. I know that's scandalous to say, but if you pay Dak, you're going to have a better time with success in the NFL than if you pay Zeke and roll with Cooper Rush,
I think we can
whatever
all agree.
backup you find, Tyrod Taylor, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I think we can all agree that
it's
Tom's
payback.
middle name is Scandalous. Tom Scandalous Downey. Go give him a follow. Johnny Gonzalez. What's up, my dude? Nice hair. What direction do the Cowboys go with the second-round pick?
All the questions for me. The Cowboys' mindset, and this is very smart, teams like the Lions have done it, a lot of other teams have done it as well. You fill the obvious holes on your roster. So receiver, you go out and you sign Cobb. Defensive line, you get Covington and Hyder at least. Safety, you go sign George Iloka so that you can still target maybe receiver, but more likely edge rusher, interior defensive line, or you target safety, but you're not forced into taking one of those players.
Okay,
like if the
fair.
Cowboys didn't sign George Iloka, you probably would have had to take a safety in round 2. Now, if there's a really good interior defensive lineman, heck, maybe even a tight end, a receiver, or something along those lines, that sets you up to just go with more of a pure BPA approach. But in terms of position, you're probably looking at defensive line or you're looking at safety there. So those are kind of the main areas on that one. Now, Taxi Cuber wants to know if we like FSU basketball. I have them going to the Final Four. I don't know if that means I like Florida State basketball, but I have them going pretty far.
I would like FSU basketball more without the S.
Oh, okay. That's lame. All right, John Kruger. Could the Colts get Burns, Dexter Lawrence, or Wilkins? I don't think you're going to see Brian Burns get there. Now, the Colts, I believe it was for a visit or a meeting, one of the two, did meet with Brian Burns. So there's at least some level of interest there. He could be a trade-up target. If you're the Colts, you don't have that many needs. You got 2 second-round picks. If Burns slides maybe to, let's just say, the Dolphins range, for example, maybe you move up and get him because Miami wants to accumulate picks for the future. You go get Brian Burns, and then you go from there. Dexter Lawrence, I do think will be there. And I think Christian Wilkins would be like the ideal fit for the Colts as a 3 technique there, but I think he's actually off the board come actual draft time. So that's kind of my mindset. Mitch, we'll give you this one because it's finally an Oakland question for you from Kirk Magnum. Who are the potential trade partners for Oakland at the number 4 pick?
Well, I know what Kirk uses in terms of Magnums.
Stop it. I knew you were going to make that joke. You're so predictable.
Raiders at number 4. I guess it's basically any team that's interested in a quarterback. You could look at. I know the Jags just went out and got Nick Foles, and I don't think it would make a lot of sense for them to maybe go get a Haskins, but there are still rumors out there that they're interested in Haskins. I mean, you could see 9, maybe the Bills, if they really think that maybe the Raiders are interested in taking a DK Metcalf, or if the Bengals want to trade up, the Dolphins want to trade up. I think it could be pretty interesting there. So.
I think you're right. I think it's mostly quarterbacks there, which is kind of weird because I don't know if Oakland wants to really drop down from 4 to, let's just say, 10, for example. That's a pretty steep drop for them.
Yeah.
More picks, though.
Honestly, I would love if the Packers somehow could maybe switch their 12 and 30 and trade up for the Raiders number 4. Maybe there's some need, but that would be ideal. But I don't know.
Very interesting there. All right, folks. Today's show brought to you guys by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code LIVE120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, Mitch, they're going to give you 60 for free. A nice way to make back some money if your bracket got busted, like I'm sure yours did.
Yeah, hey, Tom, my Final Four is still intact, so I do still have a chance to win, and you guys can win too. If you don't want to play March Madness, you guys can there's props out there for the NFL Draft. You can bet on the MLB. I put down money on the Yankees to win the World Series. Do it at BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet.